Okay, we'll do a quick revision of our formula. Normally the first part, they will ask you to prove or show something. That's for part A. You do your best. If you cannot, then just make use of this result to do the next few parts, okay? You definitely can score full marks for the next few parts even if you cannot do the first part, which is like 2 or 3 marks. But the main strategy is this. For example, you want to find the length of this line, right? You look out for another line that's parallel to this, okay? It can be longer or shorter than this, it doesn't matter. If it's longer, then you just find the bigger minus the smaller. Okay, so let's say you are able to find a triangle, and it must be a right angle triangle, okay? And the theta must be inside, okay, or something to do with theta. Alright, then if you cannot have a theta here, if it's like 180 minus theta or 90 minus theta or some other stuff, theta minus 180 or whatever, then you use the addition formula to transform this as we have discussed last year. Okay, then this length, you go and find this length, then that will be equal to this length. Okay, so you must draw lines that are parallel to what you want to find. Okay, so that's the main strategy. Okay, now let's go through how to do the R formula, just in case some of you forgot. Now if they give it to you in this form where there is a constant, you leave the constant out of the R formula first. You write it at the end. So having the n in mind, you immediately write L equals 160 plus something. Okay, and that something is this thing that you're going to transform into the R formula. Now how do you transform this into R formula? Very simple. The first part, the R, is just like Pythagoras theorem. You cannot get this wrong, okay? This is very simple. It's like E maths like that. Okay, but if you cannot get a nice answer, you put to 5SF, then you 3SF, okay? Then you leave your 3SF answer here, but subsequently, when you are using, oops, I didn't do that here. When you are doing working, right, you must use the 5SF value. Okay, so I made a mistake here. You probably need to make adjustments to the answers here. But the idea is you cannot use the 3SF answer to do working. Okay, but when you leave your answer as whatever they want you to leave it as, you must leave in 3SF. Okay, and this question, because they tell you that I didn't write. Okay, they tell you that theta is in radians. Okay, so you have to change to radian mode before you tangent inverse. Now, how do you find the alpha? The alpha, which is the angle here, right, is this second coefficient, ignore the sign here, divided by the first coefficient. Okay, ignore this, it's just between this and this. And if sine comes first, then it will be a sine, it will be an R formula in terms of sine. Okay, and you just need to calculate this. The sine is already taken care of here. Alright, so what you need to do is just to calculate R and the alpha, then sub here in 3SF for angles in radians and in 1 dp for angles in degrees. Alright, okay, how do you know whether it's radians or degrees? The question will tell you, or you look at the diagram, there will be some hints there. Okay, now next part, this is a possible type of question in the O level. They say given the length is this, find theta. So this is your length L, right? That means L is 310. So you substitute inside. The only unknown you have is theta. So you minus 160 both sides, divide both sides by this. Then you use add math. Okay, and it must be radian mode, radian mode. And because you want sine to be positive, so it's this quadrant and this quadrant. So the angle is this first angle and 180, which is pi, minus this angle. Okay, bear in mind your theta plus this one is this answer. So you still need to find the theta. Okay, that means you need to minus both sides by this 1.1071. So pi minus 0.99457, then minus 1.1071, and you get this. Okay, this is in radians, so you leave it in 3SF. If it is in degrees, then 1 dp. Okay, now the next part is ask you to find the maximum fencing and the corresponding value of theta. Now, you remember for sine graph, the maximum for sine and cosine, right, is 1. Minimum is minus 1, right? Okay, so it will be the maximum when this is 1. Because when this is 1, 1 times this, that's the biggest number already because it's a plus. Then you add to this, that's your maximum. Okay? They won't ask you to find minimum here. Minimum might be just 0 lah, huh? But you see, if you take minus 1, it becomes a negative length, so there's no meaning. Okay? Now, then they ask you, and the corresponding value of theta when it's maximum lah. So, we mentioned just now, right, that this sine of this has to be 1. So you ask yourself, this is 2 pi, right? This is pi, so this is pi over 2. Half, 1, 1 and a half, so it's 3 over 2 pi. Okay, so you ask yourself, isn't it true that it must be sine of this, then is 1, sine of this then is 1, right? Sine of this then is 1, because this is y equals to sine x, or sine theta plus whatever. Okay, so this is your theta plus 1.1071 must be pi over 2. Then from here you can work it out to be this.